Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my one block world. You know what? I never really do start videos in the Nether. But I spawned in the Nether. I don't really remember why. I probably thought at the end of last video I was going to AFK here, maybe trade with my pigmen a little bit more. Obviously that didn't happen, but this is also a really nice place to just get a little bit of experience and also farm a little bit of gold. You do see that some of these trading pigmen over there will pick up the stuff that these guys, the zombified ones, drop and will trade for stuff, so sometimes we get some fun stuff here as well. But mainly it's just an XP area, which is definitely more than enough, but sometimes, just like this, I can just come in and see if we pick up any fun stuff. I did see some ender pearls over there. Oh, all of you want to come in, I guess that's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. You guys are just little guys. If you weren't aggressive, you could stay here, but you know, I did probably murder your parents, so it would make sense that you're aggressive. I should probably close that little gap now. You know, just to keep everybody nice and safe, but yes, hi, hello, welcome. We were here last video for one important reason, and that reason is we were trading for nether bricks. Now, nether bricks are cool and they're important because I have a new idea to get blazes to spawn. We've been trying to get blazes to spawn for like forever. Genuinely, it's been like ages. We sometimes got them to spawn here, however not in a good long while. And so now I'm trying to turn this failed mob farm into a new one for the blazes, where the floor is made out of nether brick, because I'm hoping that that is how this has been coded, because in vanilla Minecraft, blazes will only spawn with a blaze spawner. Similarly, what are they called? Wither skeletons will only spawn in a fortress. And both of those, the blaze spawner and the fortress, and the blaze spawner is inside the fortress, is made primarily from those nether bricks. So I'm hoping that if I build a structure out of nether bricks, it'll just start spawning all of the blazes and potentially a couple of wither skeletons. That is the goal, but it is an expensive project. We are currently, I believe, all out of gold, which is unfortunate. In theory, I could probably build a gold farm. Maybe that's a project for the future, though. Maybe that could be fun. But if this is your first time here, hi, welcome. This is a one block world. It's somewhat similar to a Sky Island type of challenge, where originally I started on one single block with nothing else around me. Endless sky forever and ever, and everything around me has been built from the start of that one block, except unlike a Sky Island challenge, this is a magical one block, and every time I break the block, a different block spawns from a select pool of blocks that are able to be spawned, I suppose, and those have been giving me a lot of materials, and everything around here has been built from that. We do have a wandering trader, villager, who will spawn in every couple of... I don't know what the time frame is, but every once in a while with new trades for us, which is how we've been able to get stuff like animals. We've been able to go into the nether, which is also a one block nether, hence my quest to figure out how to spawn blazes and wither skeletons. I can never remember the name of wither skeletons for even half a second. And then once I figure out how we get those, then I think we have probably seen almost every nether mob there is. I know if we have a pool of lava, we can spawn striders. So that's been pretty fun. But that is currently still, I think, one of our main missions. Originally, it was so that we could do some potion making. Now, we have already made some potions because we did get a couple of blazes, but we don't have a reliable, renewable source of blaze powder and blaze rods, so I am trying to figure out how we can get that to work. But that is just going to have to take a little bit more time. And we are farming a whole load of trees because our last build took almost all of our wood. So that is currently also a little bit of an ongoing project. Talking about ongoing projects, though, I do suppose, let's see how our iron farm is doing. That is the last farm we built. it took almost all of our wood, and then like half of it burned down. So then it took almost all of our cobblestone. But we are here now. This is the little area where the skeletons, and by skeletons I do mean iron golems spawn. I am just not remembering any words from Minecraft today. And then here we eventually get their remains. Okay. I want to do a little bit of an experiment today. Just a little bit. Because I think I'm going to be around here for a little bit. By here I mean I'm going to fill this gap in. That's today's mission. I want to see just how much iron we get in today's video. So in these roughly 15 minutes, how much iron are we going to get? I think I should be, you know, in renderable distance. And so I think it's a fun time to run this experiment because we currently don't have any gold. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to farm that before I can continue my nether quest. But before I do another farm, or, you know, do it the old-fashioned way by mining the block a bunch, I do just want to double-check how good the iron farm is doing. Because at this point, it's good enough, right? We already have more than enough blocks for what I need, but I would like to see if I can make it any better. I'm also going to double-check that this is despawning up here. Where is the block of wood? Oh, I see it. Okay. That should have solved it, I do believe. Okay, let's see if this goes away now. But we farm a lot of dirt. Dirt is, I think, in my head at least, the most valuable resource we have. Also because, you know, it's what everything else is built on. But we have been able to get a whole lot of dirt with our trader. So I have a little bit of a stockpile. So I think today I'm going to try and see. Where did I get just one? Oh, it's actually from the nether. Never mind. Okay. Let me see what I can do about getting some of this dirt going. What do I not need right now? Okay. Just a nice, clean inventory is what I want to start with. Then before I get carried away, let me do my farming business. This is one of the goals we have at the minute. We have a couple of goals going for us right now. We have finishing expanding this world. We always have to expand more. One day I want to do just the longest, most tedious process ever of actually this isn't really farmable yet. I might do this in a second. Of building a second layer to this world, by which I mean currently if I break these blocks I fall to my death. So I'd like to, maybe around this platform length, just build a whole nother floor, make it not spawn-proof, make it spawn-proof, I mean, so nothing is spawning there. And from that, the only thing I really want is that if I do ever fall to my death, I don't lose my armor. But that is going to be a long-term project for which we need a lot of blocks, a lot of half slaps. I'm thinking, you know, farming the dirt right now for that is, not the dirt, the wood for that right now is really good. But we'll have to see in a second, because I'm worried that maybe wood would be too flammable, so maybe I do it out of cobblestone, but that means I'm gonna have to spend actual hours at my cobblestone generator, which is not the end of the world, but is already another step in an already very tedious process. But we'll see how it goes in the long term. But that is a long-term project. We of course have my nether project, which is figuring out how we can get blazes to spawn, which now has somehow got like a little caveat. I was also trying to figure out how to get wither skeletons to spawn, but I think we'll figure it out eventually. Wither skeletons aren't super important, because we do already have a reliable source of bones, but I mainly would like them, coal would be awesome, but also because they drop wither roses, and wither roses I think are our only source of black dye, because we don't have any squids. I found no way to get squid to spawn, because all passive mob generation, at least that I have found, has been turned off. So we're unable to spawn squid, even if we are in like the right biome for them. So I've built a squid farm a little bit in a river biome, which is actually where this farm is now, because this used to be my squid farm, and nothing would spawn. So I'm hoping if we find a way to get wither skeletons, we can find a way to get black dye. Then the other project, apart from expanding the world up here, is World domination. No, I don't really have any actual goals on the surface right now. Of course, I always want to say I want to finish this bee farm, but, you know, I've kind of given up on the bees. Work on a villager trading hall I think could be fun. We've got, you know, villagers inside this mountain back there, but we don't really have any place for them to set up where it's like clear what their trades are and stuff. So that could be a project in the future. But mainly, we're just here to have a good time. The other project that I forgot about and just remembered because I was looking right at it is this farm. We are trying to get a farmer village up to the max level so that he will hopefully trade for golden carrots. And then we'll have a little bit of a more reliable food source. I believe he's currently at the 2nd stage. And in exchange for emeralds, he will give us carrot cake. Is that what Minecraft calls it? Like, what is this product? Pumpkin pie. You know what? Orange is all I remembered. I was close enough. But yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying doing a little bit of an expansion project. I'm hoping we were close enough for stuff to be spawning in here. I feel like we probably were. My biggest fears in this world are still falling and losing my armor. And let's not mention it because I will jinx it. But I think we've been doing okay. We did recently lose all of our armor. I say as if I was like, we've been doing okay, as if I didn't fall to my death like a month ago. But it's fine. We got all of our armor back through hard work and determination. But we're here now, which is partially the reason I want to build, you know, a 2nd layer underneath, and also why I want to set up a good villager trading center. Because then if I do ever fall to my death once more, at the very least I will have the villagers to quickly gather new armor. Because currently that took a little bit of time. And I do unfortunately believe that some of the villagers that we used to get this current armor set have died. I thought all the villagers were relatively safe out here. And some villagers escaped while I was setting up this farm because I was taking other villagers out of here. And so what happens is they got stuck in just boats, just on the main island, which is spawn-proofed. Nothing should spawn there. And somehow I saw them turn into zombie villagers and then burn. Which I only figured out when I saw their rotten flesh on the floor in the boat where they used to be. So I don't really know what happened to them, but we have probably lost a couple of our trader villagers, I should say. Oh, you know what is an important thing to note right now? All of this grass I'm placing has not been spawn-proofed. Let's, before we start, you know, creating a mob farm out here, let's just light everything up nice and easy. I keep thinking that whatever structure that is a skeleton in the distance. This is all spawn-proof, so we don't have to worry out here. Is that lightning? Or just weird sky coloring? I can't. Okay, we'll see. We'll see in a second. Lightning is dangerous in this world because like 90% of this it's wood. So if stuff burns, like everything burns. I think the main like pathways and areas I could probably live with if they got burnt and I had to rebuild. I'm mainly worried about my mob farms. If they would burn, I would be a little bit upset, especially this one because this one has already burnt, so to have to rebuild it another time would be awful, but I'd do it. Especially if we see in, you know, another 5-ish minutes how much iron this has gotten us. But it's also just nice to be able to passively get materials because a lot of the times in this world, obviously, we have to get everything ourselves by breaking one block. And I don't mind, you know, going mining in Minecraft. It's one of my favorite activities. But to break one single block forever and ever is just a little bit tedious. And so if I would have the option to just be able to go down here and pick up stacks of iron when I need them for builds, well, that would just be nice, wouldn't it? So that's kind of why this was built. And just like that, another quick section done. Let's light it up and see how we're doing. This building in the distance is a spider farm. Originally, It really wasn't the greatest spider farm ever. It really did not function, but I think I went back in after a little while when I got better at doing mob farms, and I do think it actually works decently well now. So, you know what? Can't say I haven't learned from my mistakes. Sure, sometimes we have failed mob farms. There was a failed squid farm here, there was a failed blaze farm in the nether, but we also have just a lot of working farms now. I think this one was my most difficult one, the iron farm, because a lot of the mob farms are just, you know, dark chambers where mobs can spawn, and then yes, there is a little bit of mechanics with it where like the water pushes them down the center and trapdoors and all of that, but for the most part it's just, you know, a dark chamber that they fall down and life is pretty straightforward. But this one actually took, you know, a little bit of setting up. You do have the same spawn chamber, shoot down system, but you also have little villagers in little beds over here next to zombies so that they are constantly afraid and fearing for their lives, so that the iron golems spawn. So this was probably my most intricate and difficult farm, but as somebody who a year ago could build 0 farms, I think I've come a long way. Sure, it's not the most difficult farm to ever have been built, I'm sure. The stuff that some Minecraft builders can do, or Minecraft redstoners I should say, with redstone is absolutely phenomenal. And maybe one day I'll get there. But currently, this one farm is more than enough for me. And it's honestly a lot of fun. And yes, you know, sometimes you gotta do some boring work, like me currently placing dirt blocks for half an hour. But I also think at the same time it is even more rewarding in a way, because in a normal vanilla world I'd probably just find, you know, a nice area, build myself a nice little home and be happy about it. But you know, it would look awesome and fun. But in this world, if I want to build myself a nice little home, I first have to build the nice structure around it, right? I have to build my own land. I have to build the ground on which it will all stand. And so I think it's just a lot different and kind of rewarding in that sense. So I have really been enjoying this world. Let me see if what I can do about filling this last little area in really quickly. Hopefully I have enough blocks. And just a couple more torches, and now this area is all done. If you have not seen me build these areas before, any mistakes I make by placing extra blocks, I tend to later come back to and turn into other just details on the surface, so that's how we get a lot of our hills and stuff. I think this area could probably use another bigger mountain just to give it a little bit more interest, but this area has now successfully been expanded, which gives us a lot more room to work with and run around in, which is always very fun. Let's see how much iron we got. I would like, in 20 minutes-ish, at least a stack. I think that could be nice. Let's see, 42, more than a stack, 42. We pretty much, I think, have like a stack and a half. Let me see. Oh my goodness, my mental math is awesome. But yes, this is very, very nice. A stack and a half in 20 minutes is definitely not something to complain about. So I'm quite happy to see that we are doing quite well. And I'm happy this farm works as well as it does. Hopefully, I I don't know, maybe if you ever do try a farm like this, hopefully it works out for you. You can definitely go back a couple of videos and you can see me build it. You know, it was a fun build, honestly. But now that this area has been expanded, that was terrifying. I was just going to jump right off. We have much more room to work with. Hopefully this is far enough away that the iron golems don't spawn on this grass, but I think it should be far enough away. But I guess we'll see as time goes on. This is still here, so I might have to go searching for another piece of wood. But I think that we have done a wonderful, wonderful project today. We have to, you know, continue working on all of our projects, but I think for now we have done enough. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for anything you want to see me build in this world, any ideas for how I could maybe get blazes to spawn, definitely let me know. I am learning through this playthrough and I have been enjoying it greatly, so any more learning I can do I think I will also enjoy. But for now, I think we've done enough Minecrafting. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. I do always appreciate all of your support, and hopefully I'll see you again very, very soon in this world or the next. Or have a good one. Bye-bye!